Jackie. Come see us at Peninsula Federal Credit Union or visit peninsulafcu.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and join me Mondays for Life in the 906.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Michigan's apprenticeship programs are growing, with a major investment helping hundreds earn while they learn. Plus, changes are on the horizon for the Delta County Airport after an FAA investigation revealed ongoing issues. And voters are set to decide on more funding for Munising schools this May. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Kelly, good evening. No rain, but it is a little chilly out there.
Yeah, Kevin, good evening. There is no rain at this moment, like you said, but temperatures have been dipping and we are on the cooler side of things, or the colder side of things really, for the time being, especially for tonight when we have on our radar here some very light raindrops down to Iron Mountain, maybe even a few wet snowflakes creeping in there with those temperatures into the upper 30s. So it is cold for tonight. Right now we're into the upper 30s and lower 40s. Temperatures will dip down around freezing, and that's where we'll start our day as we kick off the weekend. I'll let you know how the weekend is shaping up in just a few short minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. This week marks National Apprenticeship Week, and Michigan is seeing a growing push to expand these programs. State officials say more than 250 people are currently enrolled in registered apprenticeships in the Upper Peninsula, with thousands more across the state. A new $4 million investment is expected to help more than 600 Michiganders get into programs where they can earn while they learn.
They're an important option for our small and mid-sized employers. And so really, again, it gives the individual that opportunity to immediately experience that work environment, learn those skills that are needed for that job.
State leaders say these programs not only help workers, but also address labor shortages, paving the way for Upers to learn and work while staying home in the Upper Peninsula. Just over 2 years ago, the Federal Aviation Administration launched an investigation into administrative issues at the Delta County Airport. While the situation has improved, the FAA says changes still need to be made to solve long-standing systemic problems. The county is creating a field operations position designed to maintain FAA compliance. Commissioners say that would allow the airport manager to dedicate more time to increasing revenue and advertising. However, some funds from the manager's salary would be reallocated to the new position.
Our last airport manager really focused with the FAA, getting us into compliance and giving us a clean airport inspection, which did happen. However, it was very difficult for him to keep up with day-to-day tasks. Now the FAA is saying enough is enough, and you need to do this.
The board has not voted on official salaries for either position at this time. Voters in Munising are set to decide on a new funding proposal aimed at improving aging school buildings. They are asking voters to approve a 5-year, $1.5 million sinking fund. If passed, the fund would generate just over $2 million for infrastructure upgrades across the district. The cost for a typical household would be about $100 a year. School officials say the biggest needs are at the 105-year-old Mather Elementary School. Among the biggest concerns are aging boilers that could fail next winter, lack of proper ventilation leading to illness, and new windows.
The hub of any community in any society is its school and its youth. And if you as a community disregard that and you don't invest in that, you're destined to to be a shrinking community, to be a community over time that loses resources.
Other improvements include electrical upgrades and improving the heating system at the high school. Northern Michigan University has only one more day before commencement this weekend. By this point in its finals week, it's noticeably quiet around campus. A lot of students have already finished their exams and moved out, and those left are still busy studying. At the same time, the NMU bookstore is seeing a spike in activity as Wildcats return their textbooks, gather what they need for graduation, and bring in their families visiting Marquette.
This time of year does get really busy. Students are returning their rental books, hopefully. They're all due by May 2nd at 4 o'clock. It's also graduation time. You know, the end of the year commencement ceremony is our biggest one. And so students are getting their caps and gowns and their honors cords and their diploma frames and bringing their parents into the bookstore one more time.
Students will walk the stage at the Superior Dome on Saturday morning, starting at 10:30. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, in this week's Medical Minute, we hear from what patients need to know about well-child visits. We'll be right back.
Optimize your home with Maytag and Whirlpool appliances from Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Maytag and Whirlpool offer best-in-class warranties on durable, state-of-the-art appliances, perfect for your laundry room or kitchen. Available in stock or online, plus free delivery and 0% financing.
Tonight, everyone just play it cool with the new Georgie and Mandy.
Today's the anniversary of his dad passing. You want some breakfast?
I gotta get to the store.
Hey, knock 'em dead.
It's gonna be a night to remember.
To George Cooper.
To Dad.
New Georgie and Mandy, CBS Tonight.
New CBS Tonight.
Looks like the band is back together.
Motorcycle had a severed brake line.
Constance Wu guest stars.
What are you implying?
This is a homicide.
Bingo.
Elsbeth is all new tonight at a special time, 9/8 Central.
It's Earth Month in the Upper Peninsula. Small actions make a big impact. Recycle 906 accepts cans, cardboard, plastics, and more, helping keep the UP clean and thriving. This Earth Month, recycle smarter. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar. Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
It's Shunk Furniture's outdoor sale. A truckload of quality Amish-made furniture just arrived, over 200 pieces to choose from. Everything from pub tables and stools to end tables in the latest colors. Like the Packers, Northern, even purple, or custom order in the colors you like. Adirondack chairs come 4 ways. The regular height seat, the folding, the glider, and the high seat to make it easy to get up. You can order benches and picnic tables too in the colors you like. Shop Shunks of Marquette today.
Now, from the 19 News Forecast Center, this is WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. We're ready to move on to this next month. It's hard to believe that tomorrow is already May 1st, and we're going to carry in a bit of that chill into the new month, especially today, well below average temperatures. 37 degrees, that average is 54. So we are going to see those temperatures not only right now, but even in the overnight dip around that freezing mark. So make sure you have all the proper layers that you need for any of the outdoor activities overnight and for tomorrow morning, because this is going to feel this way for pretty much the next 12 hours. These temperatures into the upper 30s and lower 40s. We are sitting at 39 down to Escanaba and Iron Mountain at this point, and 37 right now into Marquette. The winds from the north, of course, definitely not helping things. That northern wind is going to keep things nice and cool for this evening. We're not seeing too much activity here on radar, maybe a few wet snowflakes creeping in down towards the Iron River and Iron Mountain area, but not much is happening. We shouldn't see anything of any major rain systems or major snow systems, but we do have a few frosty nights ahead of us for tonight especially, and then we're looking towards the weekend. Definitely still keep your weekend plans. Things at this point are going to be on the dry side of things, but we're going to see the cold air really stick with us for a good few days here. So this is a pretty nice chance of frost that we have. The pink and the purple color shows us that there's a very high chance of frost across basically the entire Upper Peninsula. That's for tonight, and then this map looks very similar for the following 2 nights throughout the weekend. So if you have any of those outdoor plants that are a little bit sensitive, you want to make sure to bring them inside, and again, try to wait to plant at least until Memorial Day. Some of those vegetables or the plants or the flowers, just as a good reminder, as we can still get some of those winter-like nights even though we're in spring here. This is your first warning weather futurecast, keeping most of that precipitation, whether it's rain or snow, out of here for tonight. But tomorrow morning, with those colder temperatures, don't be surprised if you see a few snowflakes flying around in the morning time, and maybe when the kiddos are headed out to the bus stop in the morning. The cloud cover should clear out for the most part for your Friday night plans. Things will be dry for that. Keep it dry also for most of the weekend. We may have a few of those light rain showers starting to to move in for Saturday afternoon, but the main gist of this forecast is the cold. So because we have that chance of maybe a few wet snowflakes, that liquid component, maybe some snow, I want to take a look at the rain and the snow. Maybe just a little bit of a light drizzle throughout now all the way to Saturday, and then we look at the snow component of that, and around these same kind of places here throughout Ironwood and up towards Lawrence, there may be a few snowflakes, but I really don't think anything's going to accumulate snow-wise. But yeah, temperatures have been falling down over the last few days. We'll be stuck into the 40s for tomorrow, the lower 40s. We'll get back to the upper 40s to kick off the weekend, but these overnight lows will continue to be around that freezing mark until we can clear this first weekend of May, and we'll get into this first week with some recovering temperatures into the mid-50s, and then go back down. Cinco de Mayo temperatures go back down into the 40s.
Kelly, thank you again. Now in this week's Medical Minute in partnership with OSF Healthcare, we're getting the details on well child visits. Our own Lily Simmons sat down with Dr. Amanda Brummer. Take a listen.
What happens at a well child visit?
Yeah, good question. So a lot of things happen. So one of the most important things is that we measure growth. So that can be height and weight, and then usually we measure head circumference also to check for brain growth. Other things that we do is we answer any questions that the child or the parents have. We talk about normal development, which can be anything from reaching milestones to even talking about puberty with adolescents. And then we also go over any kind of safety information. We talk about healthy diet and exercise and building lifelong healthy habits.
Why are well child visits important?
Yeah, well child visits are super important because on the day-to-day, you know, parents have a lot going on and they don't always have time to talk about some of these healthy topics with kids. Plus, kids don't always listen to their parents when they're told to eat their vegetables. So we like to help reinforce some of those messages that parents are giving their kids. It also gives us an opportunity to do a lot of different screenings, make sure that there's no metabolic issues, any other kinds of growth issues or any kind of developmental delays. And if we find those things, then we can help address them early so that they don't affect kids lifelong.
How often should a well child visit occur?
So the frequency of well child visits is going to vary by age. When we see newborns, we're going to see them pretty frequently because there's a lot of important growth that's happening. So typically that'll be every couple of weeks to every month for the first couple of visits, and then every 2 months for older infants. And then usually starting at age 2, we can see kids once a year.
Thank you for joining us today.
Coming up next on your 19 News, the Supreme Court continues to handle redistricting cases in the U.S., and President Trump is expected to sign a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. We're back in 2 minutes.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, Jess from Planetary Design will pour 60 cups of coffee for 60 adventurers.
Shoot, lost count.
Shop small business on Amazon. To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, John from Bluecorn Beeswax will light 60 candles for Marv and Ethel's 60th wedding anniversary.
Marv? Ethel?
Shop small business on Amazon.
Beauty, confidence, relaxation. Are you ready? At LJ Aesthetic Studio in Manistee, we create a welcoming, inclusive space built around high-quality care, modern techniques, and results that still look like you. You deserve this. LJ Aesthetic Studio. Be your best you.
Wherever you're headed this spring, Marquette Sawyer Regional Airport makes it easy. With daily flights through 3 major hubs, you can get where you're going fast. And starting in June, daily flights through United. Pre-book now. It's convenient, reliable, and right here in your backyard. No long drives, no big city stress. Fly smart, fly local. Start your next trip at SawyerAirport.com.
The UP loves to be outdoors. Running, fishing, hiking, biking. If it's happening outside, you want to be a part of it. And this little baby is what you need to be ready. It's local and 100% free, 24/7. WZMQ 19's news app can show you the best times to be out, what to wear, how to stay safe, whether to bring along the kids. It's your problem-solving power tool, the WZMQ 19 app, now playing on a phone near you. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. The nationwide battle over congressional maps is heating up tonight with major moves in both Louisiana and Florida. On Wednesday, the Supreme Court struck down a Louisiana congressional map just as Florida prepares to pass a new map to benefit Republicans. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon has new details tonight from Capitol Hill.
A Louisiana congressional map drawn in 2024 has been ruled an unconstitutional gerrymander in a 6-3 decision by the Supreme Court. The map created a second majority black district and added a second black Democrat to the state's predominantly Republican delegation.
A devastating blow to our democracy. The impacts go throughout every congressional district, every school board district, every legislative district, every city council district.
Critics of Wednesday's ruling say it opens the door for states to enact discriminatory maps by eviscerating Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which has long served as a protection against discriminatory voting systems.
Despicable decision that is a return to Jim Crow.
It's unclear how the court decision will impact this year's elections in the state. Louisiana's primaries are held on May 16th. Military and overseas ballots have already been sent.
In many cases, in many states, the ballot is set. It would be very disruptive.
Meanwhile, in Florida, the state house has approved a new congressional map that could give Republicans 4 seats currently held by Democrats. The Republican push in Florida coming 1 week after Virginia voters approved a Democratic effort to redraw their congressional map.
It's up to those individual states. I mean, we've seen states redistrict. We've seen states choose not to redistrict.
What they do in Virginia, what they do in California, what they do in Texas, what they do in Louisiana really comes down to those states to make a determination on it. Now, the courts are going to weigh in on it, and I don't mind the oversight. I think they should.
Florida's new map now heads to the state Senate, where final passage is expected soon. Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
As of this afternoon, Louisiana is preparing to delay its primaries following the Supreme Court's decision. Republican Governor Jeff Landry says that the court's decision bars the state from holding elections using its current congressional maps. The House of Representatives passed legislation today to end the longest agency shutdown in the nation's history. President Trump is expected to sign the bill today. The bill funds most of the Department of Homeland Security, ending the 76-day impasse. It came after the Trump administration had warned that temporary funds to pay Transportation Security Administration workers and other DHS personnel would soon run out if Congress failed to act.
This will relieve pressure from the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Mullen, who I've spoken to in the last couple of hours, will be greatly relieved. The President will, the administration will. We were not going to have lines at TSA. Everybody will get their paychecks now. We'll get moving forward.
The bill does not fund ICE and Border Patrol, which Democrats refuse to support unless there were changes to those agencies. Instead, Republicans plan to fund those departments through a budget reconciliation process that does not need the support of Senate Democrats. Following this weekend shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with the president and cabinet members in attendance, some of the president's allies want to use taxpayer money to build a ballroom on White House grounds. The president has said the project would be funded through private donations. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp says Republicans seem united on building a ballroom, but divided on using taxpayer dollars to build it.
Following Saturday's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the president made the case again for his ballroom project on White House grounds.
A larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom.
After the administration demoed the East Wing late last year to put in a 90,000 square foot ballroom, a judge halted construction of the project, saying that it needed congressional approval. The administration claims they don't need congressional approval for a project like this, and that the $400 million ballroom is being funded through private donations. But following this weekend's shooting, some of the president's allies in Congress are not only speaking out about moving forward with the White House ballroom, but some even suggest to use taxpayer dollars to build it.
I'm convinced if there had been a presidential ballroom adjacent to the White House, the guy would have never gotten in.
Most Democrats on the Hill call it a vanity project for the president. We asked some Republicans if taxpayer dollars should be used to fund the project. Some we heard from say they liked the idea of it being done through private donations.
The fact that people have invested private donations to do it, I think is a great thing. I think obviously once it comes to the upkeep of the White House, that becomes a public expenditure. So it's not without public investment long haul. So I'm under no illusions that it will permanently be part of that, but if it's massively with private donations, it should be fairly non-controversial.
If there was a security need for additional funding, because this will also potentially be able to enhance the White House security, I'd certainly be willing to consider that. But I like the idea of this being mostly supported as an historical project by private funds.
In Washington, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
Mike Ludlam has your sports headlines after the break. The new head coach for Michigan Tech's women's basketball team is introduced to the community. And we'll have the result from today's matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Atlanta Braves. We'll be right back.
Tonight, everyone just play it cool with the new Georgie and Mandy.
Today's the anniversary of his dad passing. You want some breakfast?
I gotta get to the store.
Hey, knock 'em dead.
It's gonna be a night to remember.
To George Cooper.
To Dad. New Georgie and Mandy, CBS Tonight.
Get ready for new ghosts.
Are they in here?
There's a Viking, a finance pro, a scout leader, and a hippie. And a purple astronaut named Ronald.
Only you can see him flower.
Right.
Ghosts is all new. CBS Tonight and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Tony's Green Thumb in Bark River is open for business. Tony's is your one-stop shop for all your garden and flower needs. Known for a huge variety of big, beautiful baskets, gorgeous planters, and over 600 varieties of vegetables and flowers to choose from. Open daily, come see why people travel over 100 miles to Tony's Green Thumb. Tony's Green Thumb, where beautiful gardens begin.
The Golden Girls are on MeTV.
I am stunned.
Weeknights on MeTV 19.1.
I'm Drew Carey from The Price is Right here on TV 19.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by the Window Store.
Andersen brand products are #1 in quality, and the Window Store is your local Andersen expert for installation and service of all Andersen windows and doors. From showroom to your home. Andersen Windows and Doors at the Window Store. Andersen is the #1 trusted window and door brand. The Window Store is the Upper Peninsula's clear choice for windows and doors. Now that's a perfect fit. From showroom to your home, Andersen Windows and Doors at the Window Store.
Good evening, everyone. New Michigan Tech women's basketball head coach Eric Gruber comes to Houghton after being an assistant at Division I Southern Illinois at Edwardsville for the past 3 seasons. In that time, the Cougars went from 5-26 to 6-23 to 16-16 overall and 8-12 in the Ohio Valley Conference last season. Prior to that, he was an assistant coach at Parkside. It was that season with the Rangers that wanted the coach in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference.
I think my experience at Parkside was awesome. I mean, we finished 3rd that year. I mean, I think the best part to describe it is you have some of the top teams in the country in there, and even the teams towards the bottom are tough matchups. So it's arguably one of maybe the best conference in Division II women's basketball. So yeah, getting back to that, I think if you want to compete at the highest level, this is the league to be in. Parkside coach is one of my best friends. We talk about like where would teams in the GLIAC finish in the OVC. We've had that conversation a lot, and I think they would compete, honestly.
Gruber talked about the fact that Grand Valley State is the big dog, not only in the GLIAC, but in the country. He also knows he has to rebuild his roster after Negaunie's Ella Mason left for Division I Illinois State, and Kendall Stanfest departed for Ashland University, besides the seniors who graduated. Afternoon baseball aplenty today. Let's check on the Tigers and Atlanta Braves. 8th inning, and Matt Vierling will double down the left field line. That's going to get Kerry Carpenter across the plate to tie the game at 2. Moments later, Glaber Torres, the fly ball to reasonably deep center field is more than enough to get Vierling home. The Tigers take the 3-2 advantage. Move to the 9th. Vierling's in the batter's box again, and this time it's a base hit to left field. Wenzel Perez would score on the play, and the Tigers are now up by a pair at 4-2 after the mishandle by Yastrzemski in left field. Dylan Dingler would take care of business with an RBI double, and the Tigers would go on to win this one by the count of 5-2. Yes, the Brewers also wrapping up a series this afternoon at home against Arizona. Bottom of the third, already leading 3-0. Oh, let's make it 5. As William Contreras with a 2-run shot measured at 440 feet, and the Brewers are in very good shape, and that would continue in the 4th. Bryce Terang, an RBI single to right center field, and David Hamilton scores. Garrett Mitchell moves on to third base, and the Brewers are now leading 7-1. Mr. Contreras back in the batter's box today, a single left center field, and Mitchell would score to make it 8-1. Contreras' box score said 4-3-4-4, and a walk to boot. Not bad. Bottom of the 6th, Tyler Black with a 2-run double. Yep, an easy one for the Brewers today, winning 13-1. The Magic, the Pistons, Game 5. Detroit has to stay alive last night to avoid elimination and ending its season earlier than expected. Third quarter, Cade Cunningham with a nice long jumper there. He puts it in. The Pistons are up by 8 at that point. Tobias Harris had 23 points and 8 rebounds. He will put that one home. I don't want to say Cade Cunningham was a one-man show last night, but he did end up with a whole bunch of stuff. 45 points, a playoff scoring record for the Pistons, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And even though Paolo Banchero played very well, it would be Detroit going on to win this one by the score of 106-109. And here are the comments.
We've had a great season so far. None of us want it to end. So, you got to put it all out there. We dug ourselves a hole, like I said. And, now it's time to climb our way out. But it's possible. We handle our business tonight. We got to go to Orlando and handle our business there.
Our backs have been against the wall. We come out swinging. We come out kicking. We come out scratching, biting, clawing, whatever's necessary to get it done. And that spirit carries over. And the want to not let your teammate down carries over. And we got a locker room full of guys that feel that way.
116-109, Game 6 tomorrow in Orlando, and we will be right back.
Anything that's wrong with America can be fixed by what's right in America. We are defined more by our shared values and our differences, and we're having a conversation about how.
When you think Hard Rock, you're thinking music. But when you think Hard Rock Bet Casino app, you should be thinking rewards.
How about that? That's because on Hard Rock Bet, you get guaranteed rewards every single Thursday.
Legendary rewards, like deposit matches, bonus spins, and more for everyone on the app. Just open up the app and see what you get. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us.
New customers get up to $1,000 back in casino bonus, plus 500 bonus spins.
Hey, Mace, did you order your prom outfit yet?
Yeah, Mom, I'll do it.
Hey, have you gotten your prom tux yet?
Yeah, Mom, I got it.
Mason, did you order your prom tux yet?
Yeah, it's coming. Mom?
Skip the guesswork this prom season. Come down to Young's Menswear. We get it right the first time. With tons of in-stock options to rent or buy, we'll help you look your best. Don't wait. Trust the experts at Young's Menswear, now in Escanaba and Marquette.
When you live in the north, the winds blow harder, the winters last longer, and the leaves change in an instant. Every season tells its own story. That's why the roof over your head needs to protect the memories being made beneath it. At Dan Perkins, we build metal roofs that stand up to the northern elements. Because when you live in a place as untamed and wonderful as the north, your home deserves a roof that's just as enduring. Protect what matters most with Dan Perkins Construction.
Who will be there when the final whistle blows or the final votes have been cast? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com.
And a final check of your forecast. We're not seeing too much activity here on radar, maybe just a few light raindrops and maybe some wet snowflakes. And the temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 30s. We'll dip down to around that freezing mark or even sub-zero for some areas. So make sure to bring in those outdoor plants, especially if they're on the sensitive side. And temperatures slowly recover through the weekend. Make sure to tune in later tonight for an updated look at your forecast.
Kelly, thanks again. And finally tonight, a group of Delta County students learned firsthand how the local court system works this morning. 8th graders from Holy Name Catholic School participated in a mock trial at the 47th Circuit Court. Their humanities teacher worked with a former attorney to create a thorough fictional case, with students acting as the prosecution, defense, witnesses, and the bailiff. The judge also taught the class about what it takes to have a career in the legal system.
It's not always just about the law says this and the statute says that, the court rule says that. It's about the charisma you have to be able to communicate a message in a relatable way to your fellow citizens. If you've got that and you are a critical thinker, you can be an incredible lawyer.
The trial was the culmination of various concepts the students have been learning throughout the school year. That's all we have for now, everyone. We'll catch you back here later tonight. See you then.
Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now.